Okay, so as request po ng nakararami, gusto pong i-discuss lang ngayon yung educational credential assessment ng 1-year post-secondary. Ano ba ito? And ano pa ba yung mga dapat nating malaman? Papaano tayo ma-attain ito? And ano yung mga dapat nating gawin? Okay, first, dito sa caregiver pilot, ang kailangan natin dito is 1-year post-secondary. So, as per our guide, yung Appendix B, na sinasabi sa atin kung ano ba yung magiging equivalent ng ating pinag-aralan from overseas, especially yung mga applicants natin from the Philippines na nag-apply na or mag-a-apply pa lang. And I believe meron ng mga konting refusals dahil misleading talaga ito yung 1-year post-secondary because in the past caregiver program, ang definition natin ng 1-year post-secondary yung naka 106 units equivalent to third-year college sa atin na completed yung third-year college. So, yan ang nagiging basihan natin before. Not until lumabas na itong Appendix B. And we consultants also are really confused about this before when we thought the same na yung third-year college ng Pilipinas natin is papasa sa 1-year post, but hindi po pala. So, meron nang nag-share sa mga group chats and sa mga community groups na merong na-refuse na ang equivalency is secondary, yung high school plus 1.5 years of college study. So, sabi ni officer, kung sino ba yung nag-refuse na officer na yan, the applicant didn't meet the educational requirement of 1-year post-secondary. Kaya, dito na nataranta ang lahat. Okay, ano ba yung 1-year post-secondary? Ang sabi dito sa Appendix B, again, kung hindi po natin pa nakikita, madali naman po ito makita sa website. I-type lang po natin Appendix B, ECA Report Assessment Outcomes. And madi-display po doon, i-click lang po natin yun. So, ang concern po natin is 1-year post-secondary credentials. Ang sabi doon, it should be college certificate. Ibig sabihin, yung pinag-aralan natin na 1 year will be at the end of the course is evidenced by a certificate. Bibigay ng school na meron kang certificate, let's say, for a course of drug addiction or course of kung ano man yung mga 1 year or pharmacy technician course or yung personal support worker course, meron niya mga certificate o yung iba nagbibigay ng diploma. Sabi, completion of college level certificate. So, merong mga courses na 1 year, lagi siyang 1 year, na dito sa Canada or outside Canada, nabibigyan tayo ng college level certificate. So, with that, we have to consult with the school. And then the next, university certificate, university diploma, 1-year certificate in such field, post-secondary certificate with focus in area, discuss the area of concentration, 1-year post-secondary certificate with focus in area of concentration again, and 1-year certificate. Yung mga certificate na ito, it doesn't matter kung outside Canada, hindi siya kinakailangang university or college as long as na itong school na to is recognized by yung Department of Education and Culture natin, yung DepEd natin doon sa Pilipinas, na ito is legal to conduct this business as a school or educational institution, and then they are able to provide a certificate or diploma that could be presented elsewhere and or internationally. So, paano kung hindi natin ma-meet ito? So, ibig sabihin nito, let's say, natapos lang tayo ng 2 years college sa Pilipinas. Definitely, hindi po pasado yun. Kasi wala tayong certificate. Wala tayong diploma. But, kung natapos ka ng 2-year course, let's say HRM, secretarial, midwifery, or any 2-year course na may certificate or diploma na issue sa Philippines, that will be recognized and that will be considered as 1-year post-secondary. So, it's evidenced by the diploma. Ngayon, yung mga nurses natin na undergraduate or some other courses na 3rd year or 4th year na sila pero hindi nila natapos, sad to say, hindi kayo mabibigyan ng bachelor's degree equivalency dahil hindi nyo natapos yung course talaga. So, if ever hindi tayo na-meet itong 1-year post-secondary, ano ba ang remedyo natin? Okay? So, first na remedy natin, we have to study. So, studying online, kahit saang part ng world na pwede kang mag-study, na yung program of study na iyong kukuhanin is equivalent to 1 year. Academic yan, hindi pwede yung training lang. So, kailangan yung online course, ibig sabihin nun 100% online yan. Hindi ka pa pwedeng mag-in-class. Miski in-class na 1 day kapag meron dyan, you will be needing a study permit application or study permit approval pag nandito ka sa Canada. So, with that online application, that is one remedy para makuha natin yung 1-year post-secondary. So, we have to make sure na yung i-enroll nating online course, you have to talk to the school whether or not you will be issued a diploma or a certificate. And then, whether or not the course is 100% online, walang klase sa classroom, we have to verify that. Kasi hindi lang basta-basta enroll lang tayo ng enroll. We have to investigate this time kasi medyo critical na yung situation natin. So, another alternative naman, kung let's say nakatapos ka na ng 24 months dito, pwede ka rin mag-study sa Philippines kung gusto mo. Kung ilang SEM na lang yung kulang mo para ma-complete mo yung diploma mo or yung certificate or yung bachelor's degree. Another alternative is pwede tayong umuwi. Tapos i-continue natin kung isang SEM na lang yan or 1 year na lang. So it's much advisable, is cheaper. And at the same time, we will be with our family in this kind of situation. So once na nakatapos ka na yan, ng 1 year mo, nasa Philippines ka, and then ipapa-assess mo yan, yung credential assessment. Whereas, miski yung online ka, pag yung online is sa Philippines mo kinuha, kailangan mo din ng credential assessment again once natapos mo siya. But if you are doing an online course within Canada, yung mga school dito sa Canada nag-o-offer ng 100% online course, and then successfully natapos mo siya, then if that course is qualified under the post-secondary education, you will be issued a certificate or diploma. So, alam ng school yan kung yung course na kukuhanin mo is you will be considered as 1-year post. Pagka nabigyan ka ng diploma niyan, so you don't have to do ECA. Kasi this education is completed within Canada na. And then this is considered 1-year post-secondary. And Immigration Canada has their ways to check on whether this program and the program you have completed will be equivalent to 1-year post-secondary. So, investigate on your part kung talagang ito is magiging legitimate as na considered na 1-year post-secondary. Okay, shout out muna tayo again, guys. Reggie Ki Paras RN. Hello po. Ask ko lang po, saan ako under process po ako ng IMP? No need na po ba ECA at IELTS yan? Wala po kasi akong background sa program. What is IMP? LMP? Ray, paki-clarify, hindi ko alam yung IMP na abbreviation mo. But then, kapag ka pagka nandito ka, miski saan ka, nasa labas ka ng Canada, pagka yung education mo, kailangan mo talaga ng ECA. Tapos sa program ng new pilot, kailangan ng ECA saka ng IELTS. Alam naman natin ng IELTS, kailangan is band score of 5. Except reading will be minimum of 4 to get a band score of 5. So, under this program, need mo yung ECA, need mo pa rin ang IELTS. Dahil pag wala niyan, your application will be returned. So, wala kang background sa program, you could search on the website. Ilagay mo lang dyan, New Caregiver Pilot Program. And it will show, ililid ka dun sa IRCC website. And you can't be lost. It's a user-friendly. Now, balik tayo dun sa education natin. So, sabi ko nga, kapag ang online program is within Canada and then you will be issued a certificate or diploma, you don't need an ECA. But if that is not an online program and you need to do a classroom appearance, then you need a study permit. Okay? So, yung study permit natin is applied within Canada. So, kasi lahat ng students, lahat ng workers within Canada are able to apply for a study permit within Canada. Okay, IMP International Mobility Program. Okay, itong International Mobility Program, I believe this is an LMI exempt. LMI exempt ito. And then kapag yung work mo is regarding sa under this, meron kang background dito, let's say nagtrabaho ka sa mga nursing home or something, then you could use that as your ability to do the job. Okay? But then you will still be needing an IELTS. Okay? Clear tayo dyan? Thank you, Ray, for telling me IMP. Okay, from Judy. Oh, Judy. Shout out Judy. Karen Tatlong Hari. Si Joanna Pahilangka from Australia. Jazz Madrid. Question kay Jazz. Good afternoon po, Ma'am Cora. Salamat po sa walang sawang pag-guide sa amin. God bless po. Thank you, Jazz. Kung meron man akong maitutulong sa abot na makakaya ko, andyan lang ako. Okay? Mel LSR. Hi po, Ma'am Corazon. God bless. Sana marami po kayong matulungan. I hope yung knowledge na nalalaman ko, I am really very much willing to share with everyone and answer your question in the best of my ability para hindi tayo malos. And lagi ko sinasabi sa aking mga group na pag mga insensitive cases or sensitive application, huwag tayo magturuan. Consult a professional para hindi tayo mawala. Kasi there are most instances wherein simple application will turn out to be a complicated one kasi nagkamali at hindi naiintindihan kung ano yung mga sinasagot sa application. Okay? Next. So, magtataka tayo. Siyempre, yung nalaman na natin kung ano talaga yung definition ng one-year post-secondary, ang daming mga nakapagpasa na iba na refuse na, yung iba naman hindi pa. Okay, para sa mga hindi pa nare-refuse at alam na natin na hindi tayo pasado sa ECA natin, kailangan na natin gumawa ng remedial measure. What? Study tayo, study online, or pwede tayong magkuha ng study permit within Canada, but then yung study permit application is not that easy. Let me tell everyone, kasi you have to qualify. So yung first na qualification yan, kailangan meron tayong funding. So magkano ba yung funding? So ang funding, you have to have a budget for the 1-year tuition fee. Let's say kung ang tuition fee is 12,000, meron ka dapat 12,000. And nanghihingi din niya ng cost of living expenses. So yung cost of living expenses natin is equal to $10,000. So yung $10,000 has to be deposited in a GIC account here in Canada, and then that will be submitted sa yung proof ng GIC na inopen natin yung account, ipapasa natin yun doon para malaman ng government of Canada na meron tayong pera para pag-sustain while we are studying. So kapag na-approve tayo ng study permit, allowed tayo magtrabaho ng 20 hours per week. Hindi po tayo pa pwede mag-aral ng full time. So alam na natin ang ibig sabihin, basta 20 hours lang. Some could do cash jobs. And if ever we submit a study permit application, yung mga current na employers natin, sometimes they are willing to help. Meron akong client na talagang very willing siya na nalaman niya na hindi qualified yung kanyang caregiver. And then sabi nga mag-study, nirecommend nga ko nga na mag-study. And sabi niya, pwede raw magbigay siya ng letter sa employer na ipoprovide siya ng libreng accommodation. Tapos libre na rin yung food. And then i-employ pa rin siya for 20 hours after ng kanyang studying, and on weekends para ma-complete yung 24 hours. So with that being said, if you were approved of a study permit, you are allowed only to work 20 hours per week, and you could work full-time hours if there are school breaks na March break or sem break. Pwede kang mag-work ng full-time hours, miski over 44 hours per week. Okay, from Quadir Fasi, hello. Carmen Botona, Lilibet, hi po ma'am. If we apply online schooling, need po ang study permit. As I said, Lilibet, kapag nag-apply ka ng 100% online schooling, kahit within Canada or outside Canada, you don't need a study permit. Hindi mo kailangan miski nandito ka. But kapag you have to make sure na ang iyong course na kukuhanin is purely online, no classroom appearance kahit one day. Okay? So with that, kapag nag-study ka online, makakapagtrabaho ka pa rin full-time with your employer, and yet at the same time makaka-comply ka pa rin ng work experience mo na makaka-count towards the 24 months. And as we all know that when we apply for our permanent residency application, yung authorized full-time work experience natin dito sa Canada under NAC 4411 or 4412 must be experienced with the past 3 years before the application is submitted. Okay, so we have to remember that. Meron tayong breaks in employment, tapos mag-aaral tayo. Akala natin pag naka 24 months tayo, tapos 1 year, we have to consider 1 year na studying. Kasi yung work mo sa 1 year, yung 20 hours mo, will not be part of the 24 months. Okay? Yung 20 hours per week, hindi yan po pwedeng i-count sa 24 months. Because any work experience while you're studying will not be counted as work experience. Okay? From Chacha Parilis, Ma'am question, is there a chance na isabay ang work permit status at study permit? Okay, so pag sinabi nating study permit, mag-study ka rito, that is full-time ka rito. Meron din naman mga study permit na less than 6 months. Kapag less than 6 months ang kinuha mong courses, as we all know, we don't need a study permit. But it is also allowed na kumuha ka ng study permit kapag less than 6 months yan. Kasi merong time na nag-change ang situation mo from part-time studying, pwede kang mag-extend ng mag-convert sa full-time. And yet, kung meron kang study permit, you just have to do an extension. Okay? So pagka nag-study permit ka, that means full-time you are not allowed to work. So yung status mo as a worker, mapapalitan na yan ng student. But still you can work 20 hours. And then again, the 20 hours work experience cannot be considered as part of the 24 months. Okay. Now, yung kapag nag-study na tayo, There are instances wherein hindi na natin tinutuloy. Ngayon, kapag hindi ka na mag-study, pwede ka naman mag-apply ulit, mag-convert ka sa work permit. So when you want to convert yourself sa work permit, you need a work permit na, yung LMIA base. So yung kung meron kang employer or yung current employer mo na meron ka doon sa work permit mo, pwedeng magbigay ulit ng LMIA application, at pag nag-approve, pwede ka mag-apply ng work permit. Now, wag tayong pakaasa na pagka nag-apply tayo ng study permit, that is 100% guarantee. Hindi, kasi mahirap yan, and it depends upon the officer, assessing officer, yung intention mo to study. Of course, ang kailangan natin na mag-study just because kailangan natin sa permanent residency application. So that's a dual intent. But we have to really concentrate on the eligibility requirements of studying, not working, not for permanent residency. So kailangan yung studying na napukuhanin natin sa natapos natin is quite related. Or let's say, mga caregiver tayo dito. So, ang pinaka malapit na bakuhan natin dito is yung personal support worker. So, I believe there is a personal support worker program that is online. Hindi ko lang sure kung sinong school yung nag-o-offer nun within Canada. So, with that, you have to really search on each schools. Magtatawag kayo kung meron silang online studying ng PSW, kasi I believe it's 8 months lang, but 8 months studying will be considered as full-time. So alam ko ang PSW may mga lab yan, but I don't know how this online PSW course will work. Siguro katapusin yung program, and then pagka na siya, siguro yung lab will come after. So we just have to verify with the school if you study online this PSW course, na you will be given a certificate as 1 year post-secondary. So we have to be really vigilant na mag-investigate sa school kung ano yung mga kukuhanin nating mga courses na makukonsider na 1 year post. Kasi kapag nagbara-bara lang tayo dyan sa mga pagpili ng courses natin na hindi natin bine-verify, baka magkaroon na naman tayong problem. Imbes na makaka-apply tayo ng permanent residency, mahihirapan tayo. Now, magkakaroon din ng problem dito sa yung mga hindi nakamit ng 1 year post-secondary, sa mga dependents na mag-reach na ng 22. So with that, we don't have any much choice na malak in age, because you cannot submit your permanent residence application without the ECA just to buy time. So hindi po ganun yun. Huwag natin paglaruan yung permanent residence application, kasi sayang yung pera, sayang din yung oras. Pag alam mong hindi qualified, wag mo na kuhanin mo na kagad yung measure kung ano yung dapat kang maka-apply. So if this dependent child will be turning 22 in no time at hindi ka pa qualified, so you just have your child continue studying, and eventually madadala mo rin siya to qualify. Mag-study siya para ma-qualify din siya makarating dito. Again, we don't say that if you're not qualified today, you cannot be qualified tomorrow to apply for permanent residency or work permit or study here in Canada. You just have to be patient. Okay, another questions from our viewer, and shout out Nancy Drate, Eme Migsi Miguel, Z Paglibuan, Wiskal Calfi, Melody Wongwa, Chazy Mans. Hi ate, kung friend ko ba yung friend ko ba na PR na nagka-problema sa credit card, nag-file ng bankruptcy, makaka-sponsor pa ba siya ng husband? Okay, one of the prerequisite in order to you to be an eligible Canadian sponsor, kailangan wala kang bankruptcy. Hindi ka, yung bankruptcy na still in force, but yung na-discharge ka na from bankruptcy in the past, and then meron kang certificate na natapos mo na yung leniency period ng bankruptcy period, natapos na yun, then you could still be qualified to sponsor a spouse or dependent children. But then, kung kakabankrupt mo pa lang, hindi ka pa pwede. Hindi ko lang alam ang ano yun. Alam ko, bago ka ma-discharge dyan, is mga 7 years yata. Na I'm not so sure. But, basta, discharge ka na from bankruptcy. Meron mga ano yan eh, meron mga agencies na nag-handle ng bankruptcy application. So, kung sakasakali man magtanong kayo dun sa agency, na kung discharge ka na sa bankruptcy mo. Kapag discharge ka na, may letter yun. So, i-attach lang yun. Pwede ka na makapag-sponsor. You don't have to wait for years. Basta meron ka ng certificate na clear ka na, then you could go ahead. Soon to be magpapakasal na siya. Yeah. Pwede na rin magpakasal para maka-establish ng relationship, para makabuild ng relationship, makabuild ng evidences and requirements, pwede na magpakasal while waiting sa bankruptcy discharge. Okay? Now, back to studying in Canada. So, sabi ko nga, yung mga employers natin, ng mga caregivers natin who are willing to support, pwede tayong humingi ng letter sa kanila na sinusupport nila yung free mo na room and board, and bibigyan kanila ng work that will help your application. Pero on top of it, kailangan mo pa rin magpakita ng pera para malaman ng Government of Canada, kasi just in case hindi ka supportahan ni employer, meron kang pera sa bank. Yung GIC kasi yun, na 10,000, it will be released to you every month. Yeah, I think it's 833 per month. Yun ang magiging cost, yun ang magiging parang pera mo, panggastos mo every month. Para ibinibigay yan, hindi lahat ibinibigay, para every month talagang maksusuportahan mo yung sarili mo. Plus the fact na pwede kang magtrabaho ng 20 hours. So, yung 20 hours natin, 20 hours per week, let's say, sa childcare, 15, that's 300 a month. So, meron kang 1,200 per month, 300 per week, 1,200 per month, plus your 833, that's more than sufficient for you na mabuhay ka dito sa Canada without causing financial burden sa Canadian society. Now, kapag ka naman 20 hours, ngayon ang mga home support workers, mataas na ang kita ngayon. Ang median wage as per ESDC, December 11, nag-increase na po tayo, $18 na po per hour ang mga home support workers. Yung mga nag-aalaga ng mga matatanda at may mga disability. So, pwede nyo sabihin sa employer nyo na to be compliant, $18 per hour na kayo. Kung $18 times 20, so that's 360, mas mataas. So, for sure, pagka nagpasa ka ng study permit sa plan mo, hindi ka magiging burden dahil meron kang work, let's say 300 or 360 per week, and then plus you have that 10,000 cost of living expenses sa GIC. Kailangan kasi talaga meron kang proof para maaprubahan ka na talagang kaya mo mag-study dito sa Canada and do part-time work, because you cannot be a full-time student and at the same time full-time worker. Nag-ano yung dalawa, nagko-contradict yung dalawa, kaya hindi sila pwedeng pagsabayin. Pwede lang magtrabaho full-time sa caregiver kapag school breaks. Okay? So now, studying in the Philippines. Kung sa Pilipinas tayo mag-study, definitely napakamura niyan. But syempre yung iba, since naging used na rito sa Canadian living, mas gusto na nila dito mag-aral. But then if it's impossible for you to raise that kind of money to pay your tuition fee and the cost of living expenses, pwede tayong umuwi ng Pilipinas. Pwede tayong umuwi ng Pilipinas at doon tayo mag-aral ng 1 year. And then, just make sure na yung employer natin promise sa inyo na bibigyan kayo ng panibagong LMIA na para habang nandoon ka. Let's say, naka 6 months ka na ng studying sa atin. So, your employer could start the LMIA process on your 6th month. So, pagka na-approve yan, let's say within 2 months na-approve na yan, plus yung advertising, then you could apply for work permit from outside Canada. Pagka, let's say, 3 months na lang yung natitira mo, pwede ka na mag-apply ng work permit nun. Pending naman yon, yung visa mo, pending yun kapag natapos na yung studying mo. Para meron kang studying dito, tapos meron kang nakaantabay na work permit application, so you have to make sure that your employer will be supporting you all the way na kung uuwi ka sa Pilipinas is just 1 year, na bibigyan ka nila ng another work permit na makarating ka dito. Okay, so with that, no, it's not work permit, it's not LMIA because it's sorry, my mistake. So it's not LMIA, so bibigyan ka na ng job offer. So yung job offer, mag-a-apply ka na dito ng permanent residency, mag-a-apply ka na sa Pilipinas ng permanent residency outside Canada with occupation restricted open work permit para i-continue mo yan. So yung job offer ipapadala sa iyo dito, ipapadala mo from the Philippines na mag-a-apply ka na ng PR with your family, and then plus the ECA. Kailangan kompleto niyan, ECA, IELTS, and everything. Tapos kung meron kang 1 year na maka-count towards yung yung work permit yung under sa work permit mo rito na authorized full-time employment, so maka-count yun kung definitely ma-approve yan kasi nagtrabaho ka na dito sa Canada. So I don't see any reason na madi-deny yung application for permanent residence for outside Canada. Hindi na kasi allowed yung LMIA dito. Na from outside Canada, allowed lang yan yung mga nandito hanggang March 31st. So when you go back home, it's a little bit risky na makapunta ka kagad dito because processing time is so lengthy now. But then with the vaccine, baka mabalik na tayo sa normal, and we'll never know na mabilis na ang application ng permanent residence application natin pag nasa outside Canada. Okay. From Glyda Gallego Labra, ask ko lang po, hindi na po ba makukuha ang anak pagka 22 years old na even they are still single? Hindi naman makukuha yung 22 years old miski single sila or studying kasi pinalitan na yung definition ng dependent child. It's type A na lang, type B. It's 21 and below, not married, not in a common relationship. Tapos yung 22 naman, yan yung mga dependents na merong mental disability, may physical disability, na hindi na dependent sila sa financial sa finances dun sa mga parents or dun sa principal applicant. Okay, from Fahad Shad, hello madam, inbox me. Madam, can you explain what is the process on visit visa? So visit visa is a tourist visa. So in order for you to apply for a visitor visa, you have to have this eligibility, the finances, your invitation letter, your purpose, your ties in home country, and yung meron kang magandang job, you have a good job from your home country, that will make you return to your home country after your visit. Okay, so for more clarification, you could visit the website. Just Google and type in visiting Canada. So Fahad is from Sri Lanka. Okay, Gatchalian Rita, for paper-based application, sorry for a silly question, that's fine. May specific size po ba ang paper na gagamitin for forms and copy ng mga documents? Wala naman siya. Usually yung mga forms, letter size yan, yung short bond paper. And then yung, syempre, yung ating mga documents, lalo na yung ating yung marriage contract natin or yung birth certificate, medyo mahaba yan. So it's okay. Wala namang silang hinihinging size, basta yun ang talagang size ng ano mo, ng document mo. Okay lang yun. Alright? From Melody Wangwa, I heard my name being mentioned. Is my application done? Melody Wangwa. Okay. Marlene Balagapo, Lalaine and Weng Fronda are watching. Thank you. Chacha Perios, Ma'am, yung food accommodation, hindi ba pwedeng relatives, friends magbigay letter for recommendation na doon may titira while study? Yes. It's not just your employers who are qualified to give this letter, parang support letter. Pwede rin yung mga friends and relatives dito sa Canada. But then still you have to show proof of funds para strong yung application mo. Azir Cerezo is watching with us. Nida Bagutia is watching also. Kri Baravio and Judy are watching. Thank you. Dayan Kanda and Kar Arwi are watching. Senik Dukusen is watching with us. Thank you. Mela Longat, Miguel and Maricel Lingbawan, Cosme are watching. Lorna Akapan Luna and Jonah May Pahilanga are watching. Miji Malimban, Sarang Heyo is watching. Leodegario Ilao is watching. Thank you. Francesca Banjes, can you please clarify if PSW is considered a post-secondary education and that it meets the criteria of ECA or PR? Okay, this is a very good question. So, yung PSW, Personal Support Worker program yan. So, there are programs wherein this is only 6 months and part-time. So, if this is 6 months and below, this couldn't be considered as 1 year post-secondary. And it should be on a DLI. So, there are PSW courses wherein the duration of the studying is 8 months. So 8 months is considered 1 year full-time studying. So if your course is like that, then that is considered 1 year post-secondary. Okay. Vivian Heron is watching. Samantha Gitche Osorio, Ariela Urbano and Cleofe Oida is watching. Okay, thank you, Miss Love. 2.5K na po ang ating reach. Jamie Duran Celestino is watching with us. Rani Ran, good PM ma'am. Ask ko lang po kung ma-convert po from work permit into study permit for 8 months, ma-qualify po sa new pilot. Okay, so ang kagandahan na pagka dito tayo nag-aral, we could always convert from studying to working. Kasi within Canada, LMIA-based employer-specific work permit is allowed. Hindi kasi na-allowed yung LMIA-based work permit sa caregiver program from outside Canada. So from outside Canada, if you study there, you could apply directly sa PR application if you have the complete requirements, yung ECA, yung IELTS, and everything. So you could apply for PR plus the occupation restricted open work permit for you and your family members to come to Canada. So with you guys studying here in Canada, it's better for you to convert from studying to work permit again. So yan ang advantage pag nandito sa Canada. Kaya yung iba nating mga caregivers, if they want to study, they want to stay here in Canada para mas mabilis silang makakonvert. Okay? Pwedeng maisama yung dependent na dito. Let's say sa stage 1 or stage 2, pwede na natin isama yung ating dependents kung meron tayong konting startup cost para sa ating family. Just in case matanong sila sa border, if you have proof of funds for you to start up in Canada, meron tayong ipapakita. So that is on the safer side. We have to have proof of funds. Okay? Ran is watching. Ran, oo, pwedeng kasama yung dependents na minor. So, yung dependents na minor, i-include mo siya. Ikaw, open work permit, yung minors na school age is study permit, and yung preschool age, visitor. Jad Alines Holmes is watching. She Contre Ramos is watching. Cleofe Oida, hi Ma'am Corazon, nice to see you again on live, thank you. Hilda Gallego Labra, Ma'am, is it true pag 4-year course ang equivalency ng assessment ng Canada, accepted po ba sa IELTS exam? Hindi. Kapag miski bachelor's degree ka or naka-masters ka under this program, you have to really have an IELTS. Okay? So that's not true. Ana Roweco is watching with us. Fahad Shan. Sulo ST is watching. Trinity Passion is watching. Julia Niok. Muhammad bin Abdullah and Ethel Arroyo are watching. Hilda Gallego Labra, thank you po sa info. God bless. Thank you. Mercelita Hilario is watching. Jocelette Rosario is watching. Shiri Hip. Pag po nag-switch ng work permit to student permit and inside ka po na po si caregiver, pwede po bang i-attach ang anak at asawa na nasa Pinas? Ano po ang requirements if yes? Yes, under the study permit, if you are approved of study permit, you have the privilege to include your family members as accompanying dito sa Canada. Your husband, your spouse will be applying for an open work permit, and then student permits para dun sa minors, and visitors for preschool age children. And then of course, syempre, kailangan ng proof of funds yan. So for the principal applicant, it's $10,000. For the first family member, it's $4,000. First family member is your spouse, and the third family member are the dependent children, $3,000 each. So, palaki ng palaki yun. 10,000 plus 4,000 plus 3,000 pag isang anak, so that's 17,000. So, medyo malaki-laki rin yun. And yet, so saan mo kukuhanin yung funds? Kailangan pag nagpakita ka ng funds, alam nila kung saan mo kinuha yan. Kung gift yan, kailangan may letter kung sino nagbigay ng gift sa'yo para isupport yung study permit mo. So, lahat has to be properly documented. If your employer is willing to provide you the finances, then she should be able to show the bank statements from where the fund was taken out. And then a letter that she is all the way supporting your studying. Okay? Rani Ran, thank you, Mom. You're welcome. Sabine Suban is watching. Francesca Banyes, I heard that they will announce something next year for caregivers. Do you have any idea what would it be? The possibility that they would lower their education requirements? Honestly, I have no idea, but I would love to hear that they will be lowering the ECA for our caregivers. Jenny Lafuente is watching. Omar Zerelli is watching. Munir Munir 2, Mel's Mitra Manibog is watching, Merlinda Delina is watching, Desiree Pearl ni Red, Rhoda Pamplona, Heba Suliman, and Carmen Botona. Ako si Inday is watching with you. Ay, ang ganda ng pangalan mo, Inday. Thank you, Inday. Heck, John is watching with you. Shiri Hip, kailangan po na magbayad agad ng 1-year tuition fee if ever, aside from proof of funds. So, hindi naman nire-require na bayaran mo ng buo kaagad. At least meron kang down payment na nare-require ng school for you to be issued a letter of acceptance. Pwedeng full year na bayaran mo. Pagka hindi mo na binayaran full year, you have to show money in the bank for the rest of the payment of your tuition fee ng 1 year, aside from the proof of funds na ibibigay mo. Okay, so with that study permit application, it's not easy. Huwag tayong mag-expect na pag nag-study tayo, ma-approve tayo. So we have to really comply with the eligibility requirements because different officers have different outlooks. Merong ibang mga considerate, merong ibang mga hindi, merong ibang mahihigpit. But ang pinaka-weapon lang natin dito is to provide all the necessary documentations and eligibility requirements na kailangan ng study permit, whether it's applied dito sa Canada. The treatment is that even though you're applying from inside or outside, you have to meet the same eligibility requirements. But then there are a little more lenient for those applicants already here in Canada because you have passed inadmissibility requirements such as criminal and medical, dahil na medical kayo noon. So, medyo konti na lang yung i-assess sa inyo. Kaya, it's not the end of the world. Kung hindi pa tayo makastudy ngayon, we could stay still in Canada under the temporary foreign worker program until unlimitedly, provided that each extension that we will be making to extend our work permit, there should be a new LMIA and an employer specific work permit na ma-approve tayo. So, kung sa ganyan, hindi ka matatakot na kung ayaw mong umuwi, basta lang nandito ka, mag-work ka lang until such time na kumpleto ka na. I hope there will be program na part-time studying wherein you could study part-time and still work full-time even though it's chop-chop, and in the end you will be issued a 1-year post-secondary. So I think na I've heard from some schools na pinag-uusapan nila yan because of this issue na pwedeng mag-work full-time yung caregiver tapos mag-study part-time until such time na kompleto na yung 1-year post-secondary. I hope it will materialize. And also, meron ding nagsabi sa akin ng yung mga study permit expert na colleagues na para mas mabili yung mahina ang refusal, ang ginagawa meron kasing prerequisite English test ang mga school. Let's say kapag meron silang prerequisite English test, English course na 3 months to 4 months, hindi mo kailangan ng study permit yan. But then, we will be requiring that you guys apply for study permit para kung sakasakali man matapos na yung prerequisite na English mo, extending a study permit, it says it's at least 101% approval kapag meron ng extension. Hindi na sila masyadong mahigpit sa mga funds as long as na may pambayad ka nung tapos meron kang part-time work. So yun isang technique na sinabi sa akin, binulong sa akin ng isang consultant na magaling sa student permit application, na yung mga Chinese daw, they come here to study the prerequisite English program, and then when they finish that, they extend the study permit by this letter of acceptance from the DLIs na natin. And again, so If you enroll in public schools nga pala, let's say Centennial, George Brown, Seneca, you will be given an open work permit. But when you enroll at private school, walang postgrad work permit yan, hindi eligible. So yung open work permit, ang tawag doon PGWP, postgrad work permit. So with that, you will be given an extra one year open work permit para makakontinue tayo as worker. Makontinue natin yung ating 24 months. So if we will be studying in a public school and then magtrabaho pa tayo ng 1 year, I think makukuha na natin yung 24 months natin miski hindi LMIA based yan, basta nasa NAC code 4411 or 4412 ka. So you just have to calculate from the time na nag-stop ka ng studying kung anong year ka nagtrabaho at nag-study at then nag-work ka na ngayon, tapos kailangan pag nag-apply ka ng ulit ng iyong permanent residence application, yung work experience natin kailangan it's within the 3 years time frame. So tatanggalin mo na yung 1 year na nag-study ka. So yung 2 years mo kailangan naka-insert doon, nakapaloob doon sa 3 years natin na eligibility to apply for open work permit for permanent residence. So kung meron pa kayong mga questions sa atin, feel free na habang meron ba tayong konting time, i-text nyo dito, and shout out muna ulit tayo kay teka na, si Chacha Parils, ma'am, how about po my cousin willing to help my study, still need a letter for recommendation. Example po, she is willing to lend money for me. Oo, pwede yan. Basta may letter, tapos meron siyang bank statement kung saan niya kinuha yung ibinigay niya sa'yo. Parang sinusupport niya yung finances mo during your study. Yung pinsan pa pwede yun. Okay? Joanna Joyce, ma'am, about po sa parents name, magkaiba po sa birth certificate and marriage contract po. Yung mother first name, kailangan pa din po mag-provide ng affidavit na same kahit po hindi kasama sa family, accompanying family members. Yung ganon, hindi na siguro. Not unless hingan ka ni officers. Kasi meron kaming ganyang mga cases wherein magkaiba yung pangalan nung hindi na kami tinanong. Meron namang ibang nagtatanong. Pagka man tinanong, ang kailangan mo lang dun affidavit of the same person lang sila. From Beverly, hi Madam, Beverly Quaresma, Merly Ortiz Pajardo Rider, si colleague, immigration consultant from BC is watching with us. Francesca Banyes, so do you suggest that we should take at 8 months PSW course, Madam? Kasi yun ang pinakamalapit sa inyo, PSW. And then 8 months lang siya, but it's considered 1 year. So kung magka-classroom ka, mas maganda na mag-study permit ka para talagang sigurado at kumuha ka na dun sa DLI, saka public school para mabigyan ka ng open work permit. Miski hindi ka kagad maka-LMIA, maka-convert, meron kang postgrad work permit which you could use that for your experience towards the 24 months. So I strongly suggest PSW is the most inexpensive program, and if you could afford yung public school, go for the public school because you will be eligible for postgrad work permit. Kung naman dito sa private school naman kayo mag-aaral, you make sure na 4 months before na kayo matapos, si employer bibigyan ka ng panibagong LMIA para maka-apply ka ng work permit. Kasi hindi ka pwede mag-apply ng postgrad. So, it's better na ma-implied status ka from visitor to worker. Okay, maliwanag yan. So, that explains the remedy kung ano yung mga dapat gawin natin kapag hindi natin na-meet ang eligibility requirements sa post-secondary education. 1 year post-secondary. And if you have more questions, feel free to text me or you may call me directly 416-795-2672. 416-795-2672. I always answer phone calls. Hindi ako mahirap makontak. And ini-entertain ko po lahat ng questions. Huwag lang yung sobrang hirap. Pagka sobrang hirap at complicated, I charge a fee po. Pero kung ano lang siya, kung simple-simple lang, I could answer that directly with no charge at all. And kung hindi ko nasagot yung phone call nyo today, I could return your call within 48 hours po. Just send me a text message. Kasi meron time na busy tayo at we couldn't entertain queries, but I always find time to answer those. Okay? So, in behalf of our Radio Toronto, ito po si Corazon Ilao, nagsasabi po na magandang umaga Pilipinas, magandang hapon Canada, mabuhay world. Until next Saturday, see you again. Thank you.